For most of the Hindus, Badrinath and Kedarnath are the great places of pilgrimage. They would like to take their pilgrimage at least once in their lifetime. Guruji took more than 100 devotees along with him to these locations. And there were 4 trips planned, and in 3 of the trips we could see both the places together. And in once we could go only up to Badrinath because there were landslides towards Kedarnath. I would first describe about the trip to Kedarnath, the first trip to Kedarnath. The first trip to Kedarnath took place in the year 1978, and nearly 122 devotees were there, and there were small children and very old persons also. And we could go only up to a place called Rambara. We had a night halt, and from then on, we have to go to Kedarnath only on horses. And those who could not take the horses, they took the dholis, the old men and the children. And it is not easy to get so many horses at one time. So, batch after batch, they were leaving towards Kedarnath. Guruji wanted to wait till all the devotees get their respective horses, and he would depart from Rambara as the last. In the last batch, 4 of us remained, myself and my wife, Ammagaru and Gurugaru. All the 3 of us got our horses, and Guruji could not get his horse. We were waiting for some time, and from the neighboring mountain top, a very large size white horse was slowly descending. And Guruji said, looked at it and said, my disciple had been waiting so long to come down and take me to Kedarnath. He prayed that he should carry me to Kedarnath, and I agreed to his proposal, he said. So the white horse came, and it was somewhat difficult even to get onto it because it is quite an oversized horse compared to the other horses that normally ply between Rambara and then Kedarnath. We reached Kedarnath and had a night halt, and they had the darshan and returned, all of them safely. Then during the second trip to Kedarnath, a very interesting event happened. We were all housed in the respective guest houses, and there was a shortage of electricity in the entire region there, and there was a power cut from 8:30 p.m. onwards. Suddenly, Guruji left the room by around 11 o'clock or so, and we did not know the reason. We could not know the reason. We also followed him, about 20 or 30 of us. The rest of them were taking rest in their respective rooms. And then he came out and was looking at the temple tower. Suddenly, we saw the temple tower getting illuminated from within, as though the temple tower is a transparent tower. That was a miracle. All around the temple, there was no light at all. Only the temple tower was illuminated from inside. And then slowly a face emerged from the top of the tower, the face that of Lord Shiva with matted hair. After the face completely emerged out of the tower, we saw Ganga flowing out of his locks, and this vision or sight was there for more than 30 minutes. During that time, we were chanting the mantra Panchakshari continuously, and we were praying for Shiva. After that, suddenly the lights went off and the whole place was dark. This is a very unique event, and we were fortunate to get the Jyoti Darshana of Lord Shiva by the grace of Puja Guruji. Then the third trip that has taken place was in the year 2006 or so, again with more than 135 devotees, and two important interesting events took place. One event is, for a long time, Guruji has been feeling the criminals are not reformed, they are given punishment. The criminal takes the punishment only on his body, and his core samskaras, they are not either reformed or refined, they remain intact. It takes the next birth to do the same type of crime. That's one thing. Second thing is, the laws of the land is such that we punish only the person and we do nothing to reform him at all. And in the Karma Siddhanta, for a crime that is committed now, the punishment is not immediately given. Maybe some crime committed in this Janma, the person enjoys the fruit of it in the next birth only. A criminal goes scot-free all his life, and in the next birth he may be an innocent person but subjected to all kinds of difficulties. Or someone who has done all noble deeds here, they don't enjoy the fruits of his noble deeds in this Janma, but he goes through difficulties all through the life, and in the next life he enjoys all the luck. So Guruji felt there should be some mechanism that should be put in place by the grace of the God, that those who do the crime should get punishment immediately, they should regret for the crime, they should get reformed, and others should get inspired by such an example that they should not do the crime. Like that, the good people who do good deeds should be rewarded, and that should be an inspiration for the others also to do good deeds and then reap their benefits. So Guruji wanted a kind of a change in the Karma Siddhanta itself, and that's possible only with the grace of the Lord who instituted such a dharma for the creation. So he pleaded with the Lord throughout the night and argued that he should somehow bring in the change. But the justification by God is that I give enough time for the criminal to regret, to repent, and then ask for the pardon. And then I'm ready to give him pardon and reduce the punishment. Unfortunately, he doesn't do it. What can I do? He said. My law is free, but he's not making use as a provision. But Guruji pleaded that he should change the constitution. Guruji finally nodded. In this connection, I want to tell you a small event. Guruji was a police officer, and then he wanted to study the mindset of a criminal about to be executed next day. There are 4 Naxalites waiting for the execution to be taking place the following day. Guruji sent word that he is going to visit them. The jailer told these criminals that a very spiritual person, great spiritual person is going to come to them. And they were waiting. And they started talking. Sir, you seem to be a great spiritual person and capable of giving boons. We want a boon. What is it? Guruji asked. We have killed each one 50 people only. But you should give us a Janma next time, where we would have the opportunity to kill 200 people. We would like to continue the same job, which we find very apt. And Guruji was surprised. You see, the punishment is given only to his body, but his samskaras are intact, rather longing to do the same type of karma in the next Janma also. So this way of punishment is not effective, that he felt. So that has been deeply embedded in his mind for him to go to the Lord and then plead and then get the boon sanctioned. Then God added, this will come into force after about 10 years or so, he said. So that was in 2006. So we should expect that from 2016 onwards, the new change in the divine constitution should be taking place. But why is it delayed? Not delayed, it is anybody to guess. Another important or interesting event also took place. Guruji was one with the Lord and then shared the Ananda with him, which he expressed by his own taking to a cosmic dance posture. So we saw Ananda Tandava being done by Guruji, though we had no occasion to see the Ananda Tandava of Shiva. So that is a divine spectacle to see that lasted for a few minutes. That is the third trip to Kedarnath. Badrinath, we made 4 trips and they were eventless, except that few devotees got some spiritual experiences because they were attached to that location earlier maybe. And the arrangements were quite good. It is a developed place. Only one event I can remember is, on the way to Badrinath there is a place called Joshi Mutt. And there is a location where people will show you, this is where Adi Shankara did tapas, they say. So when it was shown to Guruji, he said, yes, that was a location where Adi Shankara meditated to get the darshan of Paramaguru, and he set forth his proposal that he is going to spread a new spiritual Siddhanta for which he wanted his blessings, and the blessings were given to him. That he said. He confirmed that location to be the location where Adi Shankara did tapas. This was the 4th trip to Badrinath. It was the year 1988, month of August. Guruji took nearly 35 of us to Amarnath. We went to Delhi and flew to Srinagar. And the entire hotel was kept at our disposal. All rooms to us, kitchen cleaned, new vessels provided for us to cook our own food. And then we took the shortest and quickest route to Amarnath. We took a bus, 35-seater bus, and left Srinagar by night 12 o'clock. And we reached a location called Baltal in the early morning about 5 o'clock or 5:30. There is a small river flowing close by. We took a bath and took our horses. And each one on one horse, and the horses went through routes which was very narrow and seemingly dangerous. On both sides there are valleys, and the horses are going on the ridge in a narrow path. And sometimes on the path there was a frozen ice also. And during that perilous journey, one lady was very closely associated with Guruji, cried and said, Guruji, you have brought us here to die, is it? It is so dangerous. Then Guruji said, look, it is not easy to die here. Only very noble souls die here. You can be rest assured that you will safely go back to your house and then encounter all sorts of troubles also. It exactly happened that way, he said. And we reached Amarnath by at 1:30 p.m. Amarnath is a cave, and from the top of which water trickles and it gets frozen in the form of a Shivalinga. On the day we went, probably due to hot weather, the entire height of the linga was not seen. We could see only 2 feet height there. The rest of it got melted already. There's nothing else like puja or anything of that sort. So we only prayed for a few minutes and then got onto the horse and returned by late evening to Baltal, took a bus. The next morning we are in Srinagar. At Srinagar, we had seen several places of tourist importance, and also we went to Kheer Bhavani, a goddess very popular there. And of course, there are artifacts which are very famous in Kashmir, and Kashmiri silk sarees also are quite famous. And our ladies marketed, and nearly about 15 ladies purchased 1 lakh worth of sarees. Then we returned safely. But after we returned, there was quite some turmoil at Srinagar, and tourist traffic was totally stopped, and even the artifacts that we booked by lorry service reached us only after 4 months or